Hey, and welcome to Trail Trials, the video review section of iRunFar.com. My name is Travis Liles, and in this video we're going to take a look at the Salomon Wildcross. Let's talk about the specifics. The Wildcross comes in at 10.23 ounces and a men's size 9. It is hyper luggy. It is an 8mm drop from heel to toe. Quick lace system, lots of protection. Let's get up close and personal and check out all the details. So let's jump in here and start with the upper. So the upper, as you can see, is a fairly classic Salomon type of look for the most part. And what I mean by the most part is quick lace system, which is obviously very prominent throughout the entire Salomon line, is present here. You have your little pull tab for your laces, tighten them up, put them down in the lace garage here that is on the tongue, and off you go. As we work our way around, we can kind of look at this Sense Fit, and Sense Fit is effectively a wrapping of the midfoot. So it's this use of material, use of fabric made to hold your foot in place. And when you combine that with the lacing system here, you've got a really quick way of pulling that really tight and getting a nice cinched up fit. And the reasoning for that is pretty simple. This is a purpose-built shoe. This is a shoe that's really focusing on mud and muck and downhills, and you want a precise fit when you're doing that, and I felt like this shoe did a very nice job of doing that, and that's done by having a fairly padded tongue plus this wrap, and you've got a really good fit, and I think aids in this shoe well. What it doesn't do well is cut weight. You have a lot of weight here, and if you look at this Sense system, specifically Sense Fit, this is just a complete separate material that's sitting on top here that's basically been sewn to the upper, and you have that on both of these sides of the shoe. I feel like this system works well, but the downside of course is that it's a little bit heavier maybe than having something that is a little bit more laminated like some of these fabrics here that you see on the toe box, where instead of being something sewn onto it, you actually have this rubberized fabric that's sitting directly on top. So with the toe box being brought up, let's kind of transition to there a little bit and really point out that, to me, this is an area that has always plagued me when it comes to Salomon shoes, and that is a very narrow toe box. And that is not the case on the Wildcross. The Wildcross is probably the widest toe box that I've ever experienced on a pair of Salomon shoes, and to the point of, because there's enough room in there, I was able to get a shoe probably closer to what my actual size is versus the other way, which Salomons tend to be so pointy at the tip comparatively. I usually have to size up. And in fact, in this, I had to go a full size down. So these are actually a size 8. I wear a size 9 in just about everything. Hokas, Topos, Ultras, Brooks, Sauconys, Nikes, I wear 9s. I had to go all the way down to a size 8. I probably could have done an 8.5, but because of the fact of this being really this sort of purpose-built shoe, I was looking more at performance and a little bit tighter fit because of kind of what this shoe is about, which is slopping around in the mud, and I want a more precise fit for that type of environment. So let's talk a little bit more about the toe box. The outsole wraps around here right at the apex to give you a little bit of that bumper support for toe protection, and then there's just this fabric that's laminated, rubberized over the top here of the toe, water and weather protection. And then also just to give a little bit more structure around the toe, so if you are kicking things or whatever, you've got a little bit of extra physical protection, not just elemental protection. As we move our way into the heel, very good and padded heel. I think for this type of shoe, a lot of fell shoes are super lightweight, very minimal, and put all of their kind of weight into the outsole. We'll get into that here in a second, but for the most part, I've got a narrow heel, a wide forefoot, and really the shape of this shoe is pretty much ideal for a foot type like mine, with a good, secure fitting heel and room for your toes to wiggle around. To kind of go into the specifics, the heel cup, as you can see here, is fabric at the back, and then once that fold hits, you're looking at more of a solid heel cup that sits in here. It's semi-flexible, so it's not super rigid, but there is a heel cup there. And then lastly, there's padding around the collar here that works really well. I mentioned the padded tongue. It is not gusseted, so kind of tough to see that, but hopefully you can get somewhat of a view in here that this is not a gusseted tongue. Instead, what Salomon opted to do was basically build a gaiter. Instead of having a tongue that's integrated, it has this piece of mesh, and you can see there it's pretty thin, but it's stretchy, so it doesn't create any type of undue pressure or anything like that on the top of your foot. Let's push over to the midsole here. So you know it's a Wildcross, no doubt about that. Says it very boldly. As I mentioned at the beginning, this is an 8mm heel to toe drop, and it's a little bit deceiving, and when you look at it, it appears like you've got a really tall heel, but the reality is you're probably closer to this mark at the back, being where your cushion sits at, and this piece of midsole here is just on the outside of the shoe, and effectively what you're doing is you're sitting inside of this line, so it gives a little more support of that heel, especially on the medial and lateral support of sort of twisting and turning around corners, or again, muddy terrain, keeping that foot locked in. You're getting some extra support by your foot sitting down inside of this, and then as it goes forward, that transitions to your Sense Fit, which then gives you a little bit of your toe box and everything like that. So it's a good system working together to provide security throughout the stride, throughout your terrain that you're trying to cross and go over. Cushion is probably what I'd call in the middle. It's fine, but it is something that if you are running on really rocky terrain for extended periods, you're more than likely, if you're like me, you're gonna notice it. And it's a little bit harder of a foam as well. So it's really nice and responsive, again, for that idea of mucky terrain. You don't want something soft that's sort of adding to an already soft terrain underneath your foot. To have soft cushioning probably is counterproductive. So this is a little bit harder, which again you feel from a responsiveness, which is great, but not necessarily for long haul type of comfort. And then the last piece we'll go here is really on the Wildcross side of things, right? The Cross brand from Salomon is all about those spiky, really aggressive terrain, and this is definitely in that vein. You see here at the back, we have downhill types of lugs. They transition forward. Once you're past the heel, it starts moving into the multi-directional, going the other direction. So for climbing, you have lugs that face this way to catch mud, and this uses, as you can see, Contra Grip, again, giant logo, and the Contra Grip TA. This is a softer rubber. You can get a lot more sort of grip to it. It bends around obstacles and those sort of things more so, which again, that's the whole premise here of the shoe, and I think it does a pretty nice job of doing what it sets out to do, which is provide really strong grip, deep lugs, and control over rough and wet terrain. In closing, I think the Wildcross is an excellent purpose-built shoe. Slop, mud, wet, grass, nasty terrain. I think this shoe holds up really well. I think where it doesn't hold up as well is really anything that's kind of beyond that. It does have a wider toe box, which I think increases the comfort that you have maybe in a lot of the purpose-built fell types of running shoes, so it's more approachable from that standpoint, but it still doesn't transition really well on buffed out trail, definitely not on road. So if you're somebody that's looking for like a hybrid type of shoe, I think this is going to be a hard one to do everything for everybody. But I'd say it's a good shoe to add to the quiver. Really excited about this new fit that Salomon is working on here. A lot of the Cross shoes from Salomon have a very narrow, pointy toe box, which almost make it a no-starter for a lot. But if you're looking to get those heel repeats in this winter time and spring, and you're looking for something that's really good going down and really good going up, this is a really nice pick for that. So, questions, comments, place those below the video. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.